Okay, so September 16th, 2021, we're going to start with Amari's little side dish. Here's just some miscellaneous organic chickpeas that I didn't put away. I've been soaking them for a while, so we're going to start cooking those on low. I'll probably add in, as a matter of fact, I'll do that right now. I'm going to try this out. Okay, this is the corn that I just dehydrated. Mostly sweet corn. Right, so I'm going to put that in there. Okay, I'm going to try it. We're going to just try something different here, right? And then we're going to start cooking that. And then at some point, I'm going to add in the purple sweet potato a little bit with a bunch of butter, right? In the meantime, I'm going to start jarring up the sweet corn and the rest of this sweet potato. Okay, so change of plans. Instead of using, well, I am actually, because I filled up the jars, right? Do you see? Okay, so I do have three of those. Okay, I'll put them in towards the end because this shouldn't take that long to soften up compared to the chickpeas and the corn. But I've got some broccoli here, so I'm going to end up putting broccoli in here, and you can see what's going on right now. Right, we're working on Amari's little side dish. Okay, trying to bring in those calories. I don't know what kind of calories are in chickpeas. I just know that they're good in terms of nutritional. So in the meantime, this corn is so good, it's almost like you can snack on it as is. Right? But it was a whole box and a bit, right? So we're not going to do that because it's not practical. So it's all dry. My hands are clean, right? So we just want to make sure that there's not any stuck together, and there's one big one that's moist. Okay, because sometimes that happens. You can, as hard as you try, right? You might miss just that one. And that's why I'm using these things just as a backup, being that I have them. So if you're going to get into, if you're not already doing it, and you're going to get into stuff like this, I would recommend at least buying one bag of these things, right? And one bag of oxygen absorbers. Get yourself a vacuum sealer with the parts for the jars as well as bags, plastic bags, and then this way you have your basic tools to not waste your time when it comes to, not that the way I did it in 2011 was a waste of time, right? I'm just saying, right? Do what you can. So this is all good, okay? And then see, they get a little stuck together, right? But this is really nice, and it's like I say, you could almost snack on this. And it's mostly sweet because I'd say more than 3/4 of the corn were sweet corn. Not all of them, but a good 3/4 of them or more, right? And just fill up your jar. Right, I got a bowl. I'll probably get three or four jars, 3 jars anyway. Right, and then on this one, instead of writing regular corn, I'm going to write sweet corn. Yeah, I'll probably get about 3 jars, and then leave a little bit out too, right? Whatever's left over. All right, and I'll tell you, if Pastor Granny gives me another box of corn, I will do it again, people, because this is really, really, really good stuff. And when you store it like this, especially if you're really now vacuum sealing, right? Not like I did in the good old days with the tape and the elastic bands and, whatever. I'm actually going out of my way to, up the ante when it comes to preserving this stuff long term. And you're not going wrong. Right, yeah, seriously, it's good stuff. Okay, so I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this corn. As a matter of fact, I'm so impressed, people, that, look at that. You wouldn't know. Okay? Look at the difference. Can you see? Right? Well, it wasn't the right color plate. But look how nice that came out. Right? And then this is the dry one. This is the dry one. Oh, I know. What kind of video is this? And that is a dry one. I mean, look at that. It's not quite cooked yet. Right? Because I'm doing this on low, right? What about these chickpeas? Let me check these chickpeas. There's, oh, sorry, wandering eye, okay? I'm like really tired and I'm just kind of making myself do this stuff now, okay? I'm at the tail end of things. However, I am going to, next time I see Pastor Granny, because all I got was 3 jars out of a box and a half, okay? Full boxes. I am going to ask her to keep an eye open for another box or 2. And I'm going to do it again, preferably sweet corn, but I'll take any kind of corn, honest to God. Okay, because I'm impressed. Now, this I don't think is cooked yet, but I'm going to try it. Almost. Oh my God. Oh my God, people. That's an organic chickpea. It is so good. There's absolutely no flavor in that little pot, okay? Nothing. Oh, that is so good. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm cutting up this corn, people. I have to, because even when it cooks up, you know, it's like you get Raisin Bran and you get the raisins, right? I have to soak the raisins, and then I have to cut them up into teeny weeny little pieces for Amari. Well, it's the same thing with corn. It doesn't matter where the corn comes from. It could be in a can of Campbell's vegetable soup. I'd still have to cut it up, right? But this corn is cutting up really easy, so I'm impressed with it. And, but, you know, like seriously, people, we know there's a Karen in there in terms of, you know, that troll, quote unquote, trolls, right? AKA a Karen. Okay? Has no concept, no understanding, no clue, right? In terms of what I actually go through when it comes to this kind of stuff. Hold on a minute.
So don't take that too literally. I'm just saying the attitude has got to be like an angry black woman, like, oh, y'all chopping up baby heads and sewing them on the mic.
Okay. Like, for as hard as I work, I get so discouraged. Because, like I said in my previous video, honest to God, my family has been sabotaged, people. And what they did to Amari, I feel was a setup. Because that happened on purpose. Okay? He was injured at the time of his birth, and they covered it up. So anyway, I'm having to deal with that. And I do the best I can, okay? You can see that. That's another reason why I do these videos, just to show you that I'm working as hard as I can. The only reason I have energy right now, okay, is because I ended up falling asleep this afternoon. And I had to power nap. I had to power sleep. Just to be able to carry on with what I'm doing. Which you can see, right? Like, I'll continue with this video for the next several hours, and then that will be an upload for tomorrow. In the meantime, we're working on an Amari side dish. Okay, it's not just simply put something together fast, right? It's not like you can give him a sandwich and away he goes. It doesn't work like that. Like, I have to cut up this corn into fairly small little pieces, right? I have to make sure that whatever it is that I'm making here is basically the right consistency. So in this case, after it's all cooked and I get the broccoli pieces in here and I cook that up, then I put it on the plate, and then I take my little sauces that I make, and we know I make a variety of them. And now I went outside, and tomorrow I have to pick grapes, the ones with the seeds, because many of them are ready and they're starting to fall off, and I don't want them to go to waste. I want them, right? I'm going to can them. And I mean, what have I been doing for months? Every year. And we know I do this canning with the fruit, the apples and apple, mango, whatever it is, right? For Amari. Thing is, it just never seems to be enough, people. Right? Because I don't know what it is with these doctors or whoever. First of all, it was doctors who injured Amari. That's the first thing, people. Well, the government wants to classify it as just entertainment in a court of law. Okay? That's what we're dealing with, okay? So, of course, I'm in the real world having to look after him every day. Right? And I've already said it's like your life becomes his life. You end up basically losing your life. I don't have a life anymore, people, outside of what you see on my videos, really. What else do I do? Right? And like, you know, excuse me, I only got so much energy. And so anyway, genetically, Amari is not a Viking. Genetically, Amari is not an Amazon. Genetically, Amari is not an African that's 6'4" from the Sahara Desert. You know how you have certain ethnic groups that are like the whole clan is really, really tall. Amari is not like that. If anything, Amari comes more from a pygmy side of genetics in terms of, okay, ShaMay's family on her dad's side, okay? I want to cook this a little more. ShaMay's family on her dad's side have very short people. Nana Janice, Sierra and ShaMay's grandmother, was thin, very, very thin, and short. Her brothers, for the most part, right, were thin and very, very short. Okay? Not only that, they came from Oregon up by a nuclear power plant. Okay? And at some point, radiation affected the DNA of some of Sierra and ShaMay's family, extended family, aunts and uncles, grandma, right? Because of radiation poisoning. So it kind of brought in, like, I don't want to call them defects, but, you know, point is there's the majority of them aren't big people, okay? They're not 6'2". They're not 6'5". They're not even 6 foot. And if they come in at 6 foot, like ShaMay's dad was 6 foot, it was because her dad's mother, Nana Janice, had a relationship with a man that has that type of genetics where the height came in. And we know that it bounces, right? We know that genetics, right? Okay. Now, on my side of the family, I had an Uncle Nick who was shorter than me, people. Okay? I'm only 5'2", 5'1". All right? And my Uncle Nick was shorter than me. My mother was short. My grandmother was short. Okay? Now, on Julian's side of the family, Amari's father, who has since passed away, his grandmother is short. She's shorter than me. Short and stubby, kind of getting into that pygmy fucking DNA. Same thing with Tomika. She's short. Short like Sierra was short. So I don't get these fucking doctors why they want Amari to be 6'2" when the majority of his family, regardless from where they come from, whether it's my family, right, or the father of ShaMay and his family from Oregon, or whether it's from Julian's side of the family, where a lot of them are like 4'9". Like, how can they expect Amari to be 6'2"? Right? Because it always boils down to those fucking calories. Like, I don't know what they want, man. Like I said, I feel like I was set up to fucking fail. Like, it pisses me off because I bust my freaking bones to look after this situation I'm in. Right? You have to be careful what you feed. Look, this is the doctor's solution. Okay? Where it says here specifically, try not to rely on it, especially for children. Right? But they don't know what else to do, so they supply this stuff to compensate for anything else that they might give you that gumps them up and constipates them. And because they don't move like we do, it's like difficult. And that's another thing. Amari has no problem. Like the last time I put him on his toilet, people, was just like, like a day and a half ago, right? Like, right? Like technically I should really put him on it every day, but I don't have to put him on it every day. If I had more time and more help, ideally that would be the greatest thing to do. But anyway, the point is, the last time I put him on his toilet, within 10 minutes, he had a bowel movement. And it was more than 6 inches long. Okay? And he did it all on his own, without a suppository. And he had a big grin on his face when he was done. So I'm doing something right, okay, in terms of balancing the foods that I feed him so that I don't have to rely on stuff like this or even these drinks that just gump them up, right? Because they're looking for that 6'2" fucking Amazon Viking. And I tell him, when ShaMay was little, for whatever reason, she was lightweight in terms of body density. She looked sometimes a little chubby, but you'd pick her up, and she was as light as a feather, people. I used to be able to carry ShaMay around when she was 4 years old. Tisha, by the time she was 2, I couldn't even freaking pick her up or move her when she was sleeping because her body density was completely different than ShaMay's. And I tell this to these people. It makes me so angry. Because I don't know what the fuck they expect. Right? If they're so fucking concerned about shit like this, why don't they clean their own fucking swamp and make sure that these ranky-ass wannabe so-called doctors deliver these children correctly versus play it out for 5 fucking days and then let her just go on for another 12 hours with labor while in the hospital after they sent her away for 2 fucking days over a period of 5 days, right? As she was in labor. And then come in with their emergency C-section noticed that he's going like this, completely ignored it until they had to document that it was happening. So they blamed the mother for it, but they never did the MRI to prove or to show that it happened at the time of the birth, because they basically dragged it out for 5 days, people, her labor. And then they finally rushed her in for an emergency C-section. This is how shady they are. So all they did was create themselves a job through that pipeline of, I don't know what. Okay? I just know that I'm in that fucking pipeline and I'm always having to put up with, I don't want to call it criticism, but that's basically what it boils down to. Right? Because he's not that Amazon Viking that they're fucking looking for. And if that was the case, well, then why don't they do better care at the time of birth, before he was born? Why did they drag it out for 5 days, people? Sent her home for 2 days while she was having labor pains. They sent her home with fucking morphine, for crying out loud. Like, who does that? I'll tell you, a whole bunch of immigrant fucking doctors that obviously got some other fucking plan up their sleeve. That's what it is. Every doctor I come in contact with is a fucking immigrant from somewhere where some of them can't even speak proper English. I don't even know how they can call themselves fucking doctors when they don't care about their patients. Until it benefits them. I got one doctor that wants to cut into Amari, literally, right? Fuck him up for a fucking year, right? Make it so that he can't poo, but that's okay. We've got the other doctor just saying, pump him in with this. Okay? Pump him up with this shit. Okay? Don't worry about the consequences, because it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, he's taking a shit, right? Isn't that how it goes? Well, I've got another fucking doctor wanting to sit up there and say, oh, well, there must be something wrong because he's not within the growth chart of where we want him, in terms of, well, we're going to ignore the fact that there's a whole bunch of short people on all sides of the fucking family. Doesn't matter where they fucking come from. Okay? Not to mention that we're just going to ignore that he's extremely happy, right? That he's thriving, that he's alert, right? That he's active, right? That he's getting stronger, right? We're going to ignore all of that. Because ultimately, there's an ulterior motive in there to maybe put him on a feeding tube when he's 10 years old, because he's not where we want him to be. In terms of what's normal. What's normal? Even though the motherfucker that I'm fucking dealing with is short himself. Short and fucking skinny! So, how can you possibly cast stones when you yourself ain't no taller than me and your wrist is just as fucking thick as mine because you're a fucking idiot that somehow got, dubbed to be a doctor? A doctor my ass. More like an agenda. But of course you can't say those things, right? Because you're at the mercy of these individuals. That's why they fucking injure the kids before they even come out. Okay? Amari's heartbeat was going down and wasn't coming up. That's why they did the emergency C-section after 5 days of ShaMay being in labor. It took them 5 fucking days to figure it out. And they want to call themselves doctors. And now they think they can just cut into him anytime they want. Well, I get absolutely no credit, no love, no thanks, no nothing for the shit that I go through every damn day for their fuck-ups. Well, the government wants to sit up there and say, well, it's just entertainment. Well, here you go. What's your name? John Horgan? Here's your entertainment. Okay, obviously I'm upset, right? So anyway, See this? This is chicken that I cooked up in my little convection oven because I still don't have the element in my stove yet. Anyway, besides that point. So now take off the chicken. Do you see this? This is the, like, jelly. More jelly versus grease, right? Okay? Now I ordered some gelatin online and a little gelatin cookbook. Not that I don't have enough cookbooks around my house, but besides that point. When I have time, I'll go through my cookbooks. I just needed something convenient and fast, right? I mean, we know, see, look at that. This is what I'm going to give Amari. Because this is not only good for his bones, and I just ordered some of this stuff online. Only it's beef instead of chicken. Although I ordered 2 different types, so I don't know. Anyway, okay? I mean, we know that's where a lot of the flavor is too, right? Okay? So this little bit of gelatin, right? And we'll mash it up. And then I'm just going to put it in there so it melts in with that stuff. And we'll take off some chicken, chop it up, and because it's, you know, that will flake off pretty good. And then I'm going to add in some broccoli, you can see. Right? And then that will, you know, and I'll, depending on how much, you know, like I'll add in just a little bit of grease, not too much, right? Even then I don't need it because I have this. The more I can give them this, the better. But of course, you know, it's not enough. It's never enough, right? It's never enough what I fucking do. Like, I just, it's been like this ever since ShaMay's been dead, people. Everybody can talk, but nobody fucking does the walk. Like, I was set up to fail. Right? So, you see? There's a little more. Okay. What I'm saying, though, is I did order some actual gelatin online. So I can try and incorporate this more into his diet because it's good for cartilage. Certain types of gelatin, right? Good for cartilage, good for bones, you know, that kind of stuff, right? I'm not concerned about his hair. He's got beautiful hair. I'm not concerned about his nails. His nails grow really, really well. But obviously, I am concerned about the cartilage and, like, the hips, right? The bones around the hips and the cartilage and that type of thing. Ligaments and whatnot, right? So, you know, I'm going to be making an effort to try and bring this more into his diet, and you already know that I bought collagen, which I don't give to him all the time, right? But once in a while I do, and to replace when I don't, I'm going to start working on giving him more gelatin, okay? Whether it's done this way, right? Or whether it's going to be the way you're going to see I'm going to do it, right? In terms of making jello or whatever. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There's only so many hours in a day, people. So now, let me taste this, because I'm curious to taste it with no flavor. I want to know what this tastes like. I have not used salt, nothing. All it was the corn and the chickpeas. Because it's almost like you're getting into a pureed food. So, you know, it's not easy making pureed food with multiple foods where it actually tastes good, right? It's mild. So once I start adding in this, right, it's going to be tastier. So hold on. Okay, so now this is done. We all know what's in there. I'm going to taste it. Right? See what happened with chicken and that gelatin. And I put, maybe about a half, less than a half, maybe a quarter teaspoon of a little bit of grease. Just a little bit, right? Because again, we're looking for those calories, right, people? It's the fact that, I guess what happens is, because of his situation, he uses more energy to move his body. That's what they say. And therefore, he requires more calories. than your average kid. And because he doesn't build muscle, right, like we do, moving around, you know. Okay, let me just taste this, okay? Well, it's good. I can taste the chicken. Right? Now, I'm pretty sure this salt has iodine in it. Because I bought salt with iodine in it. And then I mixed it in a little Himalayan salt. So anyway, we're just going to give them a bit of salt. Let me see how it comes. Yeah, it's coming out, so just a bit. There's no salt in there. Hold on. Okay, so that's it there. And then on this side is the apple grape that I just made. So I'm going between apple grape and apple mango because I've got 2 jars going, right? And like, this is so good. Like, so good. And then what happens, you know, you just always doing this, right? And then if I need, do you see how that works? And that would be perfect for him. Okay, kiddo. You were just giggling. You were just giggling. Yeah. Yeah, somebody mentioned that. You know what this is? You know what this is. Nana's going to give you a chance to make your own movie. Hold on. Okay. Let's try this, Amari. He always lets me know whether he likes this or not. Yeah. I tried to give him warm food, so that food that I just made is warm. Ready? Now I just give him a little taste first. Right? Always a little taste first. I don't overdo it, especially in the beginning. Oh, that's not warm. Just hold on. Yeah, I tried to save the apple stuff towards the end. Here you go. Towards the end, like a dessert. But if I need it, I use it. Right. So he doesn't think, see, this is nice and warm. Here you go, come on. This is chickpeas. Chickpeas. What's in there? Organic chickpeas. We've got chicken, wings, yeah, with broccoli and sweet corn. See, he's eating it, and I'm not even using the apple grape right now. So whatever I made, he likes it, okay? Yeah.
What's a Corvette?
And it's not, it's that, the 3 bears, you know, with Goldilocks, right? And she eats the baby bear's porridge because it's just right. What is it? Papa's bear is too hot and Mama bear is too cold, but baby bear's meal is just right in terms of it being warm. Because I try to give him, you know, I try to make sure he gets that too, right? It's not easy doing this, people. But you can see I'm like trying even harder to bring in those extra calories, right? That's why when I was buying all this stuff, you know, I don't want to just feed him with a bunch of fatty stuff, right? Like in terms of, you know, unnutritional food, right? I mean, chickpeas are definitely not fatty, right? But it's something that it was easy enough to cook up in that little pot that I could probably do, you know, in terms of, well, I could almost do it every day if I wanted to. I don't know. I don't know how much calories are in chickpeas, but it's nutritional. You know, that's the thing. The stuff that I give him is all nutritional, right? And I mean, you can see it with his attitude and his disposition. He's healthy. You know, he's healthy, he's happy, he's active, he's alert, you know, he's communicative, he's interactive. He's everything that you'd want a child to be, except he can't really move very much in terms of he can't get up and walk around and do stuff like that, right? You know, he's just, right? So, it's like I say, it's like his back was broken. You know, of course, I'll never get the true answer around that one, but they blame everything on the brain. But whatever. I just cope with it, people. He always slides down, right? There you go. See, he likes it. It's good, isn't it? And because you know, it's just... Look at this. See? Here. I test it. I put it on the spoon, if I have to make sure it's not hot. I go like this. And I just test it on my lip to make sure it's not hot. Right? Because I try to give him, once I know it's fine, right? Because I don't want to be putting hot stuff in his mouth, eh? And then, of course, the apple. The apple is from the fridge, so, you know. But I try not to give him just, you know, I don't want him thinking everything is sweet, right? So I try and save the apple sauce, whatever it is mixed in with, kind of like last. So it's kind of like his little treat, his little dessert, right? Other than that, that's the chicken, the broccoli, the chickpeas, right? The sweet corn, and a little bit of salt with the gelatin. Oh, what's that, Amari? Right? You know, with the gelatin. Now, you okay? See? Do you see how easy that was for him to just start choking? So, you have to do this, right? You have to cook it up the way I cook it, people. Right? Now, gelatin, see, that's the thing. Gelatin is good for his cartilage, right? It's good for his bones. Like I said, he's got healthy skin. He's got healthy hair, healthy nails. His nails grow like my nails. They grow long and fast, right? My bigger issue is the bone coming out of the hip with the cartilage and all that stuff, right? So what I'm saying is the gelatin that I gave him is not fatty. Like, there's really not a lot of fat in this. And, you know, like, I'm looking up, like, what gives off the most calories, and milk and, you know, those kind of things give off a lot of calories, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to be just giving him milk products all the time, right? See, I'm not even using the applesauce. This is exactly what I made. And it's obviously good because he's eating it. And it's warm because I can still feel it. It's beyond being hot now, right? You know. Because again, you know, I tell him, you know, you like warm food, right? You know, everybody likes to eat something warm sometimes. Right? Ain't just gobbling it up. But, yeah, but there's not a lot of fat in this. Right? A little bit. There's a little bit.
Any banana in there?
No banana, not today.
Maybe
No.
tomorrow I'll feed you banana.
Yeah, he can have banana tomorrow.
I just want banana.
Banana with cream tomorrow. He can have banana with cream.
Banana.
And baby formula, because the baby formula is really high in vitamins and stuff. Right? So, you know, I put a lot of effort into this stuff, people. Like, seriously, you don't know. And, like, it's so discouraging. So discouraging. I feel so set up to fail. Right? I don't know what kind of country Canada is, but it's not a very good country. It really isn't. And now what they're doing, they're even ostracizing people even more. You know, targeting, right, people more now. You know, they're just gonna, all they're gonna do is create a whole lot more Amaris. That's it. Right? And orphans. They're gonna create a whole lot more Amaris and a whole lot more orphans and broken families. Yeah. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's been happening. As the government brings in their immigrants to hide what's really going on. Okay? Like with their Ponzi schemes with the housing market and the fentanyl and the laundering of money and the illegal organ harvesting and everything else that they do out here. Look at this. Look how fast he's eating it. It's almost done. I haven't even really gotten into the apple. Right? The apple is there just in case I need it. But then at the end of the day, it ends up becoming a dessert, and he loves it, right? He thrives off of it. So look, he ate everything, right? So the chickpeas, I'm glad I bought them. Now, mind you, I got chickpeas all over the house, right? I do. But I just wanted those ones because of what's going on in the economy and stuff. And I don't know how many calories chickpeas has. You know, probably not very much to the standards of whatever I'm supposed to live up to. But those were organic chickpeas, and I have other organic chickpeas in the house that are organic. And I have other chickpeas in the house that are not organic. The point is, chickpeas are the easiest to digest out of all the bean family, right? That's why I don't mind buying them. They're the easiest to digest. They're the easiest on the stomach. And they're nutritional. But they don't put on, quote unquote, a lot of weight. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether you feed him chickpeas because, you know, he's supposed to grow up to be an Amazon and a Viking on the side. Right? You know, he's going to take on all the corruption in the world. Right? Be one of those superheroes since we don't have any anymore. You going to grow up to be a superhero, Amari? Huh? Are you going to grow up to be a superhero? Yeah, we need more superheroes in the world. We don't have any more. Yeah, they've all been killed off. Yeah, it's good. AC, now he's really happy because he's got his apple grape. And he's letting you know that he's really happy with it. All right, it's good, isn't it? See, look at that. Okay? So, there you go, John Horgan. There's your entertainment. Okay? Right. All right, there you go. That was good. Was that good? Yeah, you ate it all. That belly getting full. And then I gave him. Where's his water? He's got water here. Where's your water? Let me find your water. Hold on. Make sure he doesn't fall. Oops. Where is he? I gave him the camera and he held it and he was looking at it. Here. Yeah. There's some water. Some water. Yeah. Here you go. Yeah. Water. Oh, stop it. I don't want water everywhere. Stop it. Here, just drink your water. Being naughty, eh? Being naughty? Huh? Being naughty? Huh? Okay, I'm gonna end this video. Well, that was good. I was impressed with this corn. I'm gonna go ask Pastor Granny to keep an eye open for another box and a half. All I got was 3 jars out of all that corn, but it was, now mind you, they were really small corn. They weren't that big because, you know, and some of them, you know, because of the weather, they're just not like they used to be. So, outside of that, though, I'm pretty impressed. So now I'm going to clear out, and I'm going to start grinding up breadcrumbs and jarring them up. That's what I'm trying to do here. I can move everything along. Right?